I'm ready for the next part.
Cool. Yeah. Well, and you've got the benefit of summer. Do you know what you're doing this summer yet?
So here's what I want to do. Not sure if I will pull it off, but I want to go to New York for a month.
Cool.
And live with my cousin, and then just do the stand-up circuit there every single night. I just want to like go to different open mics and be like, hey, let me do a bit.
Have you seen Hasan Minhaj talk at all about his sort of path to comedy?
Is he the guy from The Big Sick?
No, different Indian guy.
Okay.
This is a Pakistani guy. Well, I guess they're both Pakistani. He's the guy on The Daily Show. He did the host of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He now has his own Netflix special called Homecoming King, maybe?
For me was when I started doing my own thing and putting stuff up on YouTube, sketches. And then I started doing these things called The Truth with Hasan Minhaj, which is basically like me to camera, giving my take on a particular topic or thing.
Yes.
And that really like got wild, massive attention. Bigger than like being on a TV show. But then the thing
You mean like this podcast versus Planet of the Apps?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
that?
Yeah.
I heard of it.
But the massive level up,
100%.
the Rockefeller chain was Jon Stewart.
He went to UC Davis, and his child of immigrants. His parents were very much like, you need to go to law school. And so he went to UC Davis, and the whole time his dad was like, you got to go to law school. You got to go to law school. His sister became a lawyer, physician, whatever it was. Anyway, so during that time, while in school, he was like, I want to be a comedian. And so he basically didn't tell his parents about his comedianness. But what he would do is he got the university he set up a student organization and got them to give him money and started to bring comedians to Davis. And he then would open for them when they came to campus. That was his sort of whole thing, his whole shtick.
Yeah.
What I thought was so interesting about it is like he wanted to keep up this ruse, so to speak, of being like on the right path while doing these other sorts of things. So he just tells his parents he's running a student club, but the reality is it's opening this stuff. He's started a YouTube channel so that he could do these things, and again it was sort of didn't share it in the family networks and stuff like that. So anyway, just as you're thinking about this sort of stuff, I think for you, the next bit of this one is then how do you use the book to open the doors to meet the right people? I thought it was interesting that he said his best and smartest thing was this opener idea, because then like he could say to people, oh yeah, I've opened for Nick Kroll, I've opened for Mike Buble, or whatever his name
Close
is.
enough.
Close. I was in the right ballpark. So just thinking about that for you, right? Like figuring out then how can you get these people to be on your podcast, on whatever these sorts of things are next.
Yeah.
Because I think for you, we talk about this book, sort of this concept about credibility or whatever this concept is. I think for you, your credibility is going to be sort of like by association of these other people that you're able to navigate your way to and be able to show yourself as a legitimate, comedian, performer, whatever the hell that would be. So I think that's what I would encourage you, just to think about this book as that tool. Faster you can get it out there, the more you can use it to, connect with other people to do that sort of stuff.
Okay. If I think these stories are dumb, everyone's gonna think they're dumb.
So to take it through, right? So you started with the list of the story index, like a bunch of stories you could write. And did you approach it sort of the way that I said, like pick off the ones you're most excited about and just write them without sort of thought to order, or did you just go?
No. So the way I did it was, before I wanted to write down about what other people thought, because a lot of my book is like combining my opinions with other people's opinions. I wanted to do the ones that were purely mine first. So I wouldn't have the effects, and like my mind wouldn't be like tarnished, or not tarnished, but like it wouldn't be colored. It wouldn't be colored in a certain way that it was obvious that like I had already like done this stuff.
Got it.
I wanted to be like purely me. So I did that first. And then I went on and like did everything else. And like at the end I was like, there was this one psychologist that tracked how neurons transfer humor to one another.
Really?
And it's a bunch of math. And I was like, no one's gonna want to read about math in this book. So I had that. That was the last story I wrote.
One of the things that we talked about before is like that your goal is to write mediocre content and make it better over time, did that help you or did that hinder you in getting to your 20,000 word mark?
So I like to think of I don't know. I just sort of wrote down what I wanted. Like towards the end, like it was like obviously like bad quality. Like the last 2,000 words, like those are bad words. And I figured whatever, I just have to get to this mark for this to work.
Yep.
I can go back and hopefully make it not bad later.
Yeah.
But like at the beginning, there's like some stories that I think like are pretty solid in there. Like at the very beginning, like obviously like I was like not really sure what I was doing. I was just sort of writing. So like those stories are bad, which is upsetting because that's the stuff that's like supposed to be like purely me, but they're probably some of the worst.
Yeah.
But like the mediocre content, like I don't know. I'd like to think of myself as being better than that, but I don't know. Maybe that's just blind confidence.
No, I mean,
I don't.
Part of it is like, you know, you got to you hit the mark, so that's always a goal, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's it is funny. Like there's something about that accomplishment of hitting 20,000 words and then knowing that you're sort of on the downhill slide, because like your goal is to get to like a 35,000 word book in total.
Yeah.
So you're over half done with creating new content.
Yeah.
Right? There's more that you'll do, you'll add, you'll change, you'll edit, you'll tweak, all that sort of stuff. But it's kind of like this threshold. And now it's like piecing these things together. That'll add 5,000 to 7,000 words. And then you'll sort of like, you know, you get feedback and you'll add another like 3,000 to 5,000 words. And suddenly like, there you are.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of the thing.
I think I'll get there in no time. Because like there's more where it's just like, oh, I have to like make sure this makes sense. And I have like I have like more jokes in my head that are
That's a problem, right?
That are jokes that are prefacing like the chapters and the stories, where like there will be like a bit that's like, this is a story about whatever and this means this, and they're like jokes with that.